February 19th, 2015. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 66 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Let's just jump right into the news here. Unfortunately, we've got more news about this Baccarat story, where in Atlantic City at the Golden Nugget, there were some Baccarat shoes that were not shuffled.
Okay.
They were not in, like sequential order, like ace 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up. But they were in a kind of a repeating order within the shoe.
Right.
And so, they weren't
randomly shuffled.
They weren't randomly shuffled, right? The whole shoe. And so the players picked up on this and they ended up increasing their bets because they knew the cards that were coming out. And they won a ton.
So let me guess before you even say anything.
All right.
Some judge ruled to screw the regular Joe and give a bunch of money to a casino.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
That's interesting.
There have been so many...
That never happens.
So many different rulings in this case, back and forth. First, they side with the casino, then the players, the casino and the players. And if you recall, at one point, the owner, the Golden Nugget, said, okay, we'll just settle.
Yeah.
But then the plaintiffs, the players... They said no because apparently they were roughed up on the premises, right? So they didn't just want money. They wanted some compensation for like some physical abuse.
Now, did they get anything for that?
No, nothing has been. I mean, this is just going through the court system.
Because you think they'd get something for being abused.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think any criminal charges, though, were
brought against the casino.
Right. So.
Yeah. But you can't just, they really didn't do anything wrong other than they have a brain and they used it.
Exactly.
They recognized a pattern, so they increased their bet. That's the thing I don't get. They didn't touch the cards. They didn't put them in the shoe. They didn't do anything wrong at all.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone in the same similar situation with half a brain would increase your bet if you thought you knew what the next card was.
Sure.
So, where did they screw up? That's what I don't get.
Right. The players certainly didn't screw up.
Why doesn't the casino sue the company that gave them the cards to get the money back that they lost? They probably got money from them and they got their money back.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have already gotten money from the company that they got the cards from that were not shuffled.
So they're going to win big time.
If this holds, right? Yes.
If this holds.
Yeah. And here's the argument that this judge is doing, this state superior court judge, is saying that under the law, it was an illegal game.
Right.
Okay. And so I'm reading basically from what she wrote here. The dealer did not pre-shuffle the cards immediately prior to the commencement of play, and the cards were not pre-shuffled in accordance with any regulation. Thus, a literal reading of regulations entails that the game violated the Casino Control Act and consequently was not authorized. Here's what gets me. It was the casino that was dealing this supposed illegal game.
Right. If anyone violated the law, it was the casino.
Right. Exactly.
Not the players.
Yes.
So why are the players punished? I'll tell you what, this judge, you're going to find out later that this judge is getting a free suite for the rest of her life at the Golden Nugget and 50-cent well drinks for the rest of her life.
Wow. I think you might be right.
She's bought off. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, 50 cents. You can't go wrong with that.
50-cent well drinks for the rest of her life.
All right. So we'll talk about this again, I'm sure, but that's where we stand right now. Some other better news out of New Jersey. This is kind of exciting, I think, is that for the first time, a casino is holding physical, skilled-based gambling competitions.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
I love this.
I don't like it. I have no physical skill.
So it's at the Borgata, and what they're doing is it's basically a basketball free throw tournament where players pay to get into the tournament,
right?
Kind of like a poker tournament, right? And then the prize money is distributed amongst the winners. So it's the first time that there's been any kind of real physical skill-based gambling. You could argue
it's not just luck. You have to actually be good at something.
Right. You could argue that there's certain skill in poker, and there is, but there's also some luck involved.
Right.
Depending
there's
on the
skill
cards
in
you
every
get.
game.
Right.
And the skill, sometimes is just how you approach the game, a betting strategy or something.
Yeah. So. But this is actually physical,
Right.
And so I think it's great. And there are a couple things that I really like about it. Number one, as I was reading this article, anyone can enter as long as they're of casino age, so 21 years or older.
Right.
Even a professional NBA player
right.
can enter this.
Yeah, but you know who's going to win this? There's some guy who's 26 who couldn't play basketball really.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's 4'8".
Right.
But, he's one of those savants that can make, 1,000 free throws in a row.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's who's going to win, and I guarantee it.
Plus,
I've seen people like that.
And plus, even though I was saying, an NBA player could enter, probably that you couldn't if you were actually in the NBA. There's probably something in your contract.
What about an ex-NBA player? Because Shaquille O'Neal was pretty good at shooting.
He was awfully good, yeah.
He's gonna enter.
Everybody would like to see him enter.
Yeah. I'd like to be up against him.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but this is great because it kind of opens the door for other things, like video game competitions, right? There are some people who...
Well, there's professional gamers already.
Yeah, right.
So now this is going to really take off for that.
Yeah, all sorts of things. So I guess it still needs. So this is happening. This basketball thing is happening. I think it's March 21st. It's part of Borgata's putting it on.
You could pretty much do this with anything, though. You could have a chess tournament.
Yes, this is what I think is going to happen. Now, anytime a casino comes up with an idea, it's got to go through like the gaming commission.
Sure.
But sure, chess.
Have a chess tournament, have a
home run derby tournament, right?
Right.
Just anything,
I'll tell you what they should have, and this would be perfect for casinos. Bridge tournaments.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Bridge. Because I know so many people who play bridge, love bridge. It's a card game, right? But they also love to go to casinos. They like slot play. They like to play blackjack and stuff. They're into that. You have a bridge tournament. I mean, a lot of these tournaments are actually held at casinos in their convention hall and stuff. But it's not, it's not a casino thing.
Right.
It's just they rent out the convention hall.
Now I've never played bridge. I tried to learn once. How easy is it to cheat at bridge?
Well,
now, I mean, can you signal your partner?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
you're not
you
supposed to. You're not supposed to, and they watch for that.
Well,
and the other team can turn you in. And from what I hear now, I don't play, but I've heard that if the other team suspects you, there's a judge who they can say, we saw this or that, and I guess they watch them.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it'd be a great because I know that would be a great bridge tournaments, but to have it actually gambling based would be good. So
or anything with a card based, or even chess. I mean, have a chess tournament. Although I don't know if chess players would actually be casino gamblers.
Maybe not,
right.
but
but there are things that sports,
billiards,
of course, billiards,
things,
perfect.
Right? Yeah,
billiards would be perfect too, right?
Yeah. So you're not in favor of this because you're physically just not very good at anything?
No, and you know what? The more I think about it, I'm probably have more physical skill than I do luck, at least lately. So maybe I should be, shooting baskets instead of rolling dice.
Yeah, instead of shooting. Why didn't you say shooting dice?
Yeah,
that would have rolled off that you should be shooting baskets.
Maybe that's my problem.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal.
I'm laughing to myself as you're reading that because just the other night, like 2 nights ago, my daughter says to me, my wife and I are talking about somebody got hurt or something, and it was something with their hand. And I was saying something like, oh God, that would be terrible. I mean, I couldn't work. My hands are my living, right? And my daughter looks at me and she says, yeah, and you know what's worse? You wouldn't be able to roll any dice.
Ooh.
That would be... I grabbed her, kissed her. This is my daughter. She's the best.
Well, we got some emails here that we want to talk about. The first one was from Rita. She had a question specifically about Caesars Total Rewards tier credits. She says, do you have any hints, tips, or tricks to earn Total Rewards tier credits faster? I am generally a video poker player and I want to keep my diamond status. And so this was a really good question, I thought, because there are some things that you can do to improve it. Now, one thing, and Rita was even familiar with this right now going on, I believe it's through March 31st. All the tier credits that you earn through March 31st, they will give you a bonus of 50% of whatever you've earned.
Right.
So if you've earned 1,000 tier credits during that time, you'll get an additional 500. I think there's a $25,000 max on this
okay.
bonus.
I was just going to say, I thought there was a max because otherwise I would be getting more.
Yeah, so there is a max. But that's one thing that's going on, and they're just doing that for the beginning of the year here, and it sounds like they're doing it because of the bankruptcy. Right. They just don't want to scare people. Yeah.
I'm sure they want you to feel good about that.
But here are a couple more things that you can do to earn tier credits. First of all, whenever you're in the casino and you're paying for anything, restaurant, spa, your room, anything, make sure you give them your Players Club card because it is possible that you can earn tier credits just from purchases.
Based on purchases,
right.
Yeah. Well, we know that Harris Southern California Rincon does that.
Right. Now, Caesars does have a credit card that you can get that I don't believe you earn any tier credits on. You earn reward credits.
You earn reward credits.
Which are the money that you can spend. But I don't think you earn any tier credits. Tier credits determine what level you are within total rewards, right? So I don't think that would help necessarily. No. One final thing, this is important for a couple reasons. Try to concentrate your play to single days. Instead of spreading your play out over several days, try to concentrate them. There are two big reasons for this. Number one, Total Rewards has a deal where if you earn a certain number of tier credits in a single day, at least 500, you get a bonus in tier credits.
Right. So if you clump them together, instead of going like 3 or 4 consecutive days and earning just a little, you'll get a bigger bonus.
Right, exactly. And I'll put a link to where they tell you how many tier credits the bonuses that you get. But, the more tier credits you earn, the higher the percentage of bonus is.
Right.
In fact, if you earn 5,000 tier credits in one day, you get 10,000 as a bonus, actually more than you've earned, and you're automatically a diamond.
Right. Yeah. Here's another thing that, I don't think you mentioned here, but I just remembered certain places have multipliers.
Yes, but now the multipliers are typically on your rewards.
On your rewards credits. Right.
But, that is a good point. But you got to watch for that.
Yeah, watch for stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, even though it's not your tier, it's a way to get your reward points up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gosh, this last Friday when we played at Harrah's, it was a 10 times bonus, and we got way more reward credits than we normally do.
Yeah, and that adds up. I mean, it's not going to change your status from diamond to 7-star, but you got more money to spend in the casino.
And here's something that I don't think we've ever really talked about this before, and it is pretty important. There's a concept in casino ratings called your average daily theoretical, ADT. Basically, that's what they think theoretically you're going to lose in a single day. Okay?
Right.
And they base that on days when you play. So let's say you're going to play $1,000 worth of tier points at video poker, right?
Okay.
Now, if you do that over 5 days, okay, that's 200 tier credits a day. So your average daily theoretical is going to be based on that 200 tier credits worth of play, right? So, I could come up with some number, but it's going to be based on that. So let's just say 200 just to keep it easy, right? But instead, if you play that whole 1,000 on a single day,
right,
and then never again for any of those other days, they're going to look and, her average daily theoretical is 1,000. Whenever she's here playing on a single day, this is how much she could lose.
Right.
And whereas you might not earn more tier credits based on that average daily theoretical, you'll probably get more offers.
You'll get a lot more comps. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Getting back to what I said before, actually, if you go to a multiplier and you earn more reward credits, you can transfer reward credits into free play.
Yes, we talked about
which then you can take your free play and earn better tier credits, right? I mean, more play.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually self-sustainable.
No, it's not self-sustainable, but it is something to definitely take advantage of, right?
Oh, yeah. You should always be aware of when the multiplier days are.
Yeah, and I don't know that a lot of people even know they can return their reward credits into free play.
We did talk about that on one episode. If you are at 7 stars like you, it's a really pretty good deal. It's like 125 to 100 in turning in. Now, for diamonds, it's 175 to 100, which is not nearly as good. And if you're below that, I think it's like 2 to 1, something like that.
Not good at all.
If you're not going to be spending the reward credits on casino
food or whatever.
Right, a room or spa
So,
or anything. You really aren't. Like in our case, where we go locally to a casino mostly, so we're not getting rooms, or we're not always eating there. Right. Often we will convert our reward credits into free play.
They add up so much. We get so much, we don't even want to buy something because, we have too much. So we turn it into free play.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Rita, for the email. We got another email from Ryan, who lives up in Canada. And he was telling us how in Canada they do not tax gambling winnings, which is nice.
Yeah, Canadians know what they're doing.
So if you win, a royal flush on a video poker machine, you don't have to fill out a W-2G. They just, give you the cash.
Well, I've always said that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous we pay taxes on that. Because seriously, what did the government do? I mean, what did you do or the government do to require you to give them money?
Well, I
understand like property taxes because we need our roads and we need our schools and we need things, we use services, right? But when you go to a casino and you have good luck, why should you pay money on that?
Well, you could argue that for income tax in general, right? If you're earning a living.
No, because you use services. Theoretically, you have to pay income tax because we need a military and we need, government functions. But really, in a casino, it's just good luck. It's like you found $20 on the ground.
Preaching to the choir, yeah. But Ryan asked us a kind of an interesting question. So he plays up at Caesars Windsor, which of course is part of Caesars Entertainment. And they have total rewards and everything. And he plays video poker, and it's basically 8-6 jacks or better, which is not full pay. But again, if you hit, if you're playing like in the high limit room, where maybe a full house or better down here would require a W-2G, up there, you're just raking in the money, that kind of thing. So Ryan was, asking, well, what would be better? What would be better, playing an 8-6 machine where you didn't have to pay any taxes, or a 9-6 machine where you did, or where you had to report the taxes, I should say. Right?
Oh, I'd say an 8-6 without taxes.
I don't know. At first I responded to Ryan and said, well, we should all pay our taxes on everything that we win. So, let's not say that we're not paying our taxes. But I couldn't really answer the question. I don't even know if an accountant could, because it would depend on so many different things.
It would depend on a lot of things. It's just that if I hit a jackpot on an 8-6, it's not that much different than a 9-6.
Well, yeah, if you're talking jackpot,
right? Sure,
yes. But I think he's saying like in the long run, let's say you were playing like a $25 video poker, like $125 a pull, right? Something like that, where honestly, hitting a full house, which pays $9 on the full pay and only pays $8 on the 8-6, what? So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably an individual thing. Like, do you declare your winnings?
Yeah, right. And what tax bracket are you in? And, yeah, how much are you putting in the machine? So I couldn't answer the question. I told him I couldn't, and it would really depend.
Well, and it also depend on, you could have to declare some winnings, but then if you had bigger losses, it offset. It depends on what kind of gambler you are, right?
That's true too. Yeah, it depends on whether you're a professional gambler or not, too. So. Anyway, I just brought it up just to kind of throw it out there and see what listeners think.
Just to get me riled up that we have to pay taxes and Canadians don't.
Yeah.
Canada's so much better.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Are you going up there?
I would go to Canada in a heartbeat if it wasn't so far.
Yeah.
It's just too far from here.
It's too far, yeah. It's too far to go. We got to get up there.
I'm too lazy.
We got to get up there sometime, though, to check out some of the casinos.
Yeah, we really should. And I didn't go last year, but I usually go fishing in Canada every year. I should just make a side trip and go to a casino.
You should make a special thing for that.
I'll see if Thunder Bay, Ontario has a casino. Okay. We'll look into that. Right. I doubt it. It's kind of small.
Probably not. Okay. Thanks for the email, Ryan. All right, let's jump to the voicemails. Hey, don't forget, call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First, let's hear from Jason.
Good evening. This is Jason from Fort Worth, Texas. Started listening to you guys a couple weeks ago and really enjoyed the podcast. So my father and I went out to Vegas over Super Bowl weekend, had a great time, stayed downtown, and hopped around from casino to casino. We found ourselves at the Downtown Grand. Had an awesome time. Recommend it to a lot of people if you're downtown to go over there and play. Great dealers. Anyway, I had a few questions for you, but I'm going to preface it by telling you a little story. So we found ourselves on Super Bowl Sunday playing at this place, the Downtown Grand. And my father and I went up there, had no luck. And we opened up this table, and it was just him and I trading throws and just doing an awful job. And my father, a little bit of a superstitious man, says, I'm going to change the look of this table. And he walks clockwise around the craps table. Dealers rolling their eyes, I'm rolling my eyes. Well, the very next roll, I came out and with a 7, and then I came out with another point, and then another point, and then another point. And I had about 3 points going. And about 5, 6 more rolls, I probably had about 5 points out there. Anyway, the table started filling up, and when it was all said and done, I had rolled 14 points.
14 points. 14 points. Have you ever... What's the most points you've ever had at a table?
8, maybe 9.
Is that you rolling or
No, just that I've seen it at a table.
Yeah.
I can remember 8 and 9.
Well, I rolled 8 when I rolled the fire, right? Because I rolled all 6, plus I think I rolled a couple more 8s, right? So
yeah, and I know I've been on other tables with 8, and I probably had a 9 in there somewhere.
Jeez, 14. I mean, that's
a lot of points.
Yeah.
And missed the fire bet by 1. Couldn't get the 5. In fact, I had the 5 as a point in my very last roll before I 7'd out. Anyway, what happened was there was a gentleman that came up in the middle of the roll, cashed in for about $500. And whenever we were done rolling, he colored up, and he had somewhere between 8 and 10,000. As with I do whenever I have a good roll, or if I win a lot, I just immediately tip the dealers about 5 or so %. This gentleman who colored up for about 8 or 10,000 didn't tip the dealers or anything. He just got colored up and left. Everybody around the table tipping the dealers. Some of them tipped me, and probably got about $50 or $100 worth of tips. Ended up sharing a little bit of that with the dealers. So here's my 3 questions. One is, have you ever had any superstitions or seen any superstitions at the craps table where you went, oh, that's kind of weird, and at 1, it kind of worked? Second question is, what's the most amount of points you've ever rolled? That for sure is the most I've ever rolled. And 3, even more importantly, what do you believe is the common courtesy in regards to tipping? Not only the dealers, but maybe rollers. I find myself always tipping the roller a little bit, even if it's like $5 or $10. So anyway, or even more. Anyway, I enjoy the podcast, and guys, keep up the good work. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, Jason. So, well, we already kind of talked about how the most points that we've ever seen at a table. Yeah.
I don't know the most I've ever rolled. Personally, 5 maybe.
I'm sure it's
5
8
or
for
6,
me for the fire bet. What do you think about tipping though? Especially after like a really hot roll.
Well, I tip quite a bit.
You're a big tipper, yeah.
So I tip the dealers quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should at least put something out there for the dealers. As far as tipping shooters, I've done that a few times when it's been a great roll.
Yeah.
And the most I've ever tipped a shooter is $100.
Yeah.
But I've thrown quarters out at people like, here you go.
It kind of depends, doesn't it? Like, do you know the person?
Right.
Or, do they look like a newlyweds who have never been to Vegas before? That kind of thing.
Yeah. It really does kind of depend on the shooter. I don't know. Just not too long ago at Southern California Harrah's, I tipped somebody. I gave them 25 every time they made a point.
Uh-huh.
Because we were joking about something. I said, I'll give you $25 if you make that point.
Mm.
So they made another one. I gave them another 25. Yeah, not too much with.
Well, I guess the thing is, if it's a hot roll, the shooter should be making money too.
Right,
right?
exactly.
So, right. So
sometimes I have tipped somebody who wasn't making money.
Right.
Because they didn't have any to bet or they didn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they just put one thing on the line and then they rolled 12 9s or something, right? And everyone else cleaned up and they didn't make much.
Yeah.
So I felt bad and I've tipped them that way. As far as dealers, though, we tip them all the time during the rolls and after. I mean, what's funny? We don't really tip when we color up, even if we won,
often,
because we've tipped so much while we're playing, while we're winning.
Yeah.
We're making bets for them and they're winning. So, that not too much at the end of the roll.
So I guess just the short answer to the question is, tipping the shooter, it depends. Just,
Well, I think it's always good to tip people in general, people who are working. The shooter's not really working, right?
They're playing.
They're playing and having fun.
Yeah.
But somebody who's, this is their living, and they might be getting minimum wage and they rely on tips, you got to tip them.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about tipping a little bit later in the show, too. And then Jason's other question about superstitions at the craps table. Of course, we've seen all kinds.
Yeah. I like to hold my hands high over my head and jog around the whole pit.
Yeah, right.
After a good shooter.
Yeah. I've also seen you walk into the middle of whatever is the throughway near the craps table to try to obstruct people from walking by as much as you can.
Yeah, right.
That's
I've
also
done that.
some of yours.
I remember when I was shooting and I just walked away from the table after every roll.
Yeah.
Stood far away from the table.
And we've seen all sorts of things. What about, when superstitions work? Well, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, right? And if you do, one that you've never done before, like putting a hot chocolate on your head and it works, well, then good for you.
What's funny is most of what most people would say, oh, look at that guy superstitious. Look what he's doing. We're just doing just to mess with the other, each other, right? I'm just trying to make him laugh. Am I doing something totally crazy? The time I washed all my chips. Remember? I had little handy wipe things and I was like cleaning all my chips.
I'd forgotten that.
Remember? Clean chips win. Those dirty chips lose.
It probably wore off. That probably made them dirtier in the long run.
Right. In the long run, they were probably pissed off at me. They were probably sticky.
Well, thanks for the call, Jason. Let's go to another call.
Good morning. Hi, Mike. I'm Mark. This is one of your favorite dealers. I am on a road trip, so I figured it was a good time to listen to a couple of your podcasts. So, first of all, I want to say I miss you guys. And, Mike, I hope your back surgery went well. I'm assuming it did since I see that you guys have a new podcast. Okay, second of all, with the podcast for December 4th, I just wanted to make a few comments on that one. You guys were talking about that game, Texas Bonus, right? And it was the instance that you said Mike had gotten the most upset that you've seen him get, because the dealer was dealing too fast, and then he looks down and he hadn't made the bonus bet, and he got the ace-king suited, which I remember that game. And I think that was the second highest payout on the bonus. I think it paid 25-1. And I just want to know what you did that you got the most mad you've ever gotten. What did you say? Did you yell at the dealer? Did you yell at the pit boss? What happened? Because you just said you got the most mad you've ever gotten.
Well, now, it wasn't. I don't think it was the maddest you've ever gotten. It's the maddest I've ever seen you get at a casino.
At a casino,
yeah.
right. And I handled it, I thought, pretty professionally.
Oh, yeah.
I gave him a stern scowl. I mean, a really stern scowl. And then I said, I don't appreciate that.
Yeah. So, talk about uncomfortable. I couldn't wait to get out of there.
I think the tension was pretty high in there.
Yeah.
No, I was pretty mad. I said a few words.
Yeah. But it's not like you started ranting and
no, I wasn't going to get thrown out.
That's just not you. Yeah.
No, it's not me. Yeah. But yeah, I was pretty PO'd at that.
Yeah. And then what happened with the server that you totally knocked over and she spilled her tray and everything? I want to know what happened with that, too.
Well, what happened was I decided I needed to tie my shoe for some reason.
Or no, I think it was a trip where your just back was hurting you and you wanted to stretch so much.
No, I think, well, maybe, but it was either my back or my shoe. But I put my foot up on the rail underneath the craps table.
Yeah, where you put drinks and stuff.
Yeah, and when the dealer came by with the drink, she was behind me, and I somehow tried to take my foot down, and it got stuck on the rail there. And I'm standing on one foot, and all of a sudden I lost my balance. The next thing I know, I'm basically falling on top of her.
Yeah.
And her drink,
well, she didn't have any drinks on her tray, luckily.
No, luckily.
It had a lot of chips.
Drinks. They had a lot of chips, and I think she was just taking orders.
Yeah.
And everything went flying everywhere. And she and I both landed on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's the funniest part of the whole story is the casino was so worried about me.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm terrified about her. I'm thinking, oh my God, this little waitress I've just, crushed. But, they could care less about her. They were just worried about that I was okay.
I wonder if they thought maybe you were trying some diversion to, take attention away from me. And then I was going to steal some chips or something.
They probably thought this guy had a heart attack because look at his body. And they were going to try and revive me or something. It was embarrassing to say the least.
Oh, yeah. Well,
there was one other thing I was going to comment on and I forgot. So I'm probably going to call you guys back later. Oh, that's what it was. It was the McDonald's. Okay, so the McDonald's thing was hilarious. I just pictured you guys going through the drive-thru like usual, trying to order the fish fillet, and a wrench gets thrown in it, and now you got to order an Egg McMuffin or something, and it just wasn't the same. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, we were so disappointed. We were there so late that they were already serving breakfast. And here's the thing. I know we've already talked about this, but I got, for special, they had like 2 sausage McMuffin with egg for $3.50. What a mistake. Those things are so heavy,
right.
With
They're
the
very
biscuit
heavy.
and
I don't know why they sell 2 at the same time, because no human can eat that much.
Oh my gosh. So then, we drive home and I hop in bed.
Yeah, well, you know what I got? I got 2 sausage McGriddles. And that's just as worse. Even though the volume of food is not as much, the bread is soaked in maple syrup.
Yep.
I mean, you can wring it out. It's, it's just this maple syrup goop with a sausage patty. And when you get home at 3:30 in the morning or 4 o'clock and you've eaten 2 McGriddles, sleeping is not easy.
Oh, we're idiots.
I also wanted to comment on the hot dog cart thing. Mike, that's disgusting. Of course you would eat 3 of them and try for 300. Ew. It was still funny. Anyways, I'm going to listen to more of your guys' podcasts, and maybe I'll call back. Hopefully, I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Yeah, it was that casino where they, go around selling hot dogs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, boy, who doesn't like hot dogs? I mean, I know there are some people out there who don't eat meat and they don't like hot dogs, but boy, everyone else loves them. I mean, you think about it. It's some kind of meat.
Yeah.
In a casing.
In a casing.
I mean, how much better does life get?
Yeah, we're living the dream. Well, this call was from a dealer that we know, and I actually contacted her after I got her call, and we were exchanging some messages, and she was wondering if listeners would be interested in hearing some information from dealers specifically.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Yeah. So I actually posted to Facebook and Twitter and said, hey, does anybody have any questions for dealers that you'd like answered? And we did get some responses. And so this leads us to a new
segment
on our show called Ask a Dealer.
Yeah.
And so we already have some questions, and she called back. She's a dealer we know. She wants to remain anonymous so that she can, kind of answer truthfully.
Right, without having to piss anyone off.
Right,
which
exactly.
I understand.
Yeah. So
the only question she wouldn't answer is the one my dad asked.
What's that?
My dad wanted to know how come they don't let him win.
Yeah.
And there's no answer for that, Dad.
She didn't even respond to that.
Yeah, there's no answer.
So anyway, we had her call back and answer some of the questions that people posted to Facebook and Twitter. There were several questions about tipping. Yeah. So let's hear what she has to say about tipping.
Alrighty.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Mark. This is a dealer that's been dealing around San Diego area for about 10 years. And for reasons I'm sure everybody understands, I will be going by the 7 of Diamonds. A few other people have agreed to call in as well that I know, and they'll also be going by a card of their choice. So to answer a couple of the questions, first of all, I want to say thank you, everybody, for tipping. Would we prefer you guys tip for us or just throw it in and lock it up? That depends on if you keep your own tips or if you are pooling tips. I've done both, and I would say for pooling tips, always bet for the dealers. For keeping your own tips, try and bet for the dealers. But if it doesn't work twice, I would say the third time, just throw it in. Sometimes you know how it goes. It just never happens, never works.
Okay, so yeah, what she's talking about is some casinos, they pool all the tips that come in,
right,
and then they're distributed amongst the dealers.
Yeah, and they usually do it by shifts. So they'll pull for the whole shift, and then they'll distribute that out among the shift. And it's not even sometimes just dealers, I believe. I believe sometimes it's other people like slot attendants.
Right,
and
depends on the
stuff,
casino, yeah.
Depends on the casino, right. But I do like the pooling. That way, if you're on a table where nobody's tipping, you're still going to get the same amount of tips as everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. So what 7 is saying is basically, if it's a pool environment, yeah, go ahead. Well, they all like being in the game.
Right.
Right. So all the dealers are kind of gamblers themselves, right? So
every dealer I've ever talked to likes being in the game.
So they like, having bets made. But all that 7 is saying is basically if you're at a blackjack table and you've made a couple of bets for and they've lost,
Right.
and it's just not going well, and then just maybe just
hand
toss it to
something
them.
in,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because we've all been there. I mean, last week at Harrah's, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't think I won more than like 2 bets for the dealers the whole night.
Yeah,
it was just
wasn't going
weird
well.
the way it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I won bets for myself, but every time I had them on something, it just didn't hit.
Yeah.
I would have been better off just handing them $100.
Yeah, exactly. Defense Pants on Facebook asked, what kind of bet makes a George, and what do they consider a flea?
Another question. What kind of bet makes a George? A George is a person that will bet every hand for you, regardless if they're losing or not, or somebody that just bets a lot for you, which is always awesome, always nice, always appreciated. The opposite end of the spectrum, a flea. A flea is somebody that works you to death all night and doesn't tip, or tips $1 or $5, and they're betting the minimum all night, and it's so much work and so much hassle, and nobody ever wants to deal to them.
Okay, so based on that, I think it's pretty clear that you would be described as a George, and I would be a flea.
Well, maybe. I mean, I think not to toot my own horn, but I definitely
You're
am
definitely a George.
But I don't know if you're a flea so much.
No, I guess not. I mean, I'm not. I do kind of bet.
You're
the minimum.
borderline. You're borderline.
All right.
You're like a large tick. Blood-sucking tick.
Okay.
That's what you are.
That's fair.
Okay.
All right. Another question from Defense Pants.
Do the dealers ever tip off a supervisor to a suspected counter, or do they leave that up to supervisor surveillance? That is a hit or miss question. It just depends on which dealer you get. A tip for all those card counters out there, always tip your dealer. If you're tipping the dealer, they're a lot less likely to report you. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Good advice. That's kind of, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I don't card count.
Right.
But if I did, I'd be tipping for sure.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, can't hurt to have the dealer on your side.
Doesn't hurt.
And, that's how they make a living. So tipping them, it's good for them. And, if a pit boss comes over and says something, what can you do about that? But, if the dealer doesn't alert them to it, maybe it takes them a little while to get over there.
Yeah, doesn't hurt. All right, a question from Eric on Facebook.
Okay, when dealers are off shift and playing craps, do they play the pass or the don't pass? I play both. It depends. Not both at the same time, but it depends on the table. If the table's hot, I'm playing the pass line. If the table's cold, I'm playing the don't. So it totally depends. And the dealers that I've dealt to, same thing. Just depends on the table. We try and play with the flow of the table. If it's going good, play it. If it's going bad, play it.
Okay, so that's not really any different from all of us, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's different from me because I'm always on the pass line.
That's true.
Even when the table gets cold, I'm just hoping it turns around.
Yeah.
But, I do hear a lot of dealers say, oh, you got to switch. The table's cold. It's been cold. Or, don't do this or don't do that. And it's probably smart. I mean,
no, that's just silly.
Well, no, it's not that it's a proven thing. But, just go easy. A lot of times they'll say, go easy until it heats up a little bit.
Yeah, I understand.
And they're basically saying, don't get too carried away. Don't press. Don't make, some extra bets that you might not normally make. And it's probably good, but I'm there to have fun, so I make them anyway.
Yeah. You're there to have fun, play how you do. I don't know. Go with the flow of the table. I mean, what is the flow of the table at any time?
It can change in a moment.
Yeah,
right?
But, I mean, what she's saying is if you're just kind of there to have a good time and enjoy the table with everybody else,
right?
That's, different, the whole social aspect.
Well, look at our the last story that we heard from Jason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were having terrible rolls, and then all of a sudden 14 points.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, did some sign go up? It's like, table's changing?
No, it was his dad walking around the table that did it. Yeah, we've already established that.
I'd like to hire his dad.
All right, another question from Ed on Facebook.
Another question. Do tips, player attitude, interaction with the dealer influence what the supervisor enters on the rating slip in the computer? I've never been a supervisor, but I'll tell you that for the most part, they're not going to rate you lower than what you're betting. And if you are tipping well, chances are they are going to rate you higher. So, yes, is the answer to that question.
So again, getting back to tips,
Yeah.
tipping can help you in a lot of different ways.
And pleasantness. Too.
Yes,
A pleasant player,
yes,
a courteous player, a player who engages the dealers a little bit.
Yep.
That's in life in general.
Yes.
Forget about craps. Just be pleasant, and life will go pretty good for you.
Yep. All right. Ryan on Twitter wanted to know, what are the easiest games to deal and what are the most difficult?
Easiest games to deal, most difficult. Easiest games to deal, blackjack. Definitely easier game to deal. Craps, definitely the hardest. Roulette would come second. This is in California. Pie-Gow Tiles is a whole different story. That's in Vegas, and I do not know that game, but that game is the hardest game to deal as far as I know. The carnival games are basic. They're pretty easy. You can read all the payouts on the layout. Pie-Gow, medium difficulty. There's a lot of memorization in that game. Age of Poker, a little bit harder than Pie-Gow, more memorization. Boring game to deal. Anyway.
Okay, so not too many surprises there.
No.
We're so used to craps, and we've dealt craps not in a professional environment, but for parties and stuff.
Right.
We know our way around. I would think roulette would be hard to deal just because you're the only dealer there.
Yeah.
You've got so many different things to do, especially if you don't have a machine that sorts the chips for you. So
physically harder to deal for sure, I think. But mentally, the payouts are pretty standard.
I guess so, yeah.
I would see where craps would be harder when you're on the stick and you've got a ton of prop bets. And you've got to remember who made what.
True. Yeah.
And you got some guy like me who's made 5 prop bets.
Yeah.
And so one of them wins on the come out and 3 others lose. And you got to figure out how much did he win minus these that he's going to keep up.
Yeah.
It could get kind of confusing. I think the stick is a tough job.
And then, as far as Pie-Gow Tiles go, I bet the reason it's difficult is just learning the game.
Oh, the memorization of it,
and getting that all down.
Right.
Once you have that down, then maybe it wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
But,
They couldn't have the payouts and all the stuff on the table like they do for some carnival games because they'd have to have a table, the size of Arizona.
It's ridiculous. For all the different rules as to when to split it and what have you. Well, we studied the game for a little while and we were able to play
we picked
a little bit. But to get
you and I, if we studied that, we didn't seriously study it.
No.
If we seriously studied that for a day, we'd have it all down.
No, you're giving yourself a lot more credit than I think you should. But
26 hours?
Maybe 26. Yeah, that's a little more reasonable. Yep. All right. BSB on Twitter wanted to know, what's the biggest tip you've ever gotten?
Biggest tip. Let's see. Biggest tip would have to be a total of $9,000 in one night from 2 ladies betting for me all night on blackjack.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds like you've got some.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever dropped in the box on a night is like 3,000 or.
That was hitting some hard ways
and stuff. Yeah, 3.5 maybe.
Yeah. And that was for the whole table, right? 7 is saying
if she got 9 for her,
yeah,
that's a hell of a night.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah. Another question from Defense Pants. Do dealers get annoyed when the players cheer? I was told by one dealer to cheer so her table would get more people. I've also gotten the stink eye for clapping.
Do the dealers get annoyed when the players cheer? They shouldn't. This is good advertisement, basically. Everybody's happy, everybody's winning, you're going to create more happiness, people come see your table, they want to play. Cheering is good. A dealer that gets annoyed when the players are cheering obviously doesn't want to make money. They're having a bad day. They don't want players. That's more in a pool house than a keep your own house. So if the dealers get annoyed that you're cheering, too bad for them. That's silly.
Okay, so getting back again to these casinos where they pool bets versus, the dealers getting to keep their bets, that is pretty significant, right? Because if there's some dealer who's just always a sourpuss.
Right.
He's still going to get tips like everybody else, right?
But he's not generating any tips.
Yes, exactly.
And that would be my question to Seven. I would like to know, and as you're explaining that, I was thinking to myself, do dealers have animosity towards other dealers who maybe aren't as friendly or as nice? So you're working your butt off, talking to everybody, being friendly, engaging people, and you're getting good tips on your table. what do you think about another dealer that is kind of always kind of sullen and, not really talking it up or anything, just kind of going through the motions? I mean, does that create some friction among the dealers?
That's a very good question.
I mean, in a pool place, you would think that would be the case.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I'd want to go talk to him and say, hey, come on, get us some, bring in your share.
Yeah. Michael on Facebook wanted to know how dealers deal with players who berate them.
How do the dealers internally put up with comments from players? You get used to it. That's how. You block it out. You don't take it to heart. The term thick skin is used a lot in the dealing industry. You have to have thick skin to be a dealer. You can't let the comments really get to you. It's shallow for the players to get mad at the dealer since we're messengers. We have no control. Obviously, if we did have control, of course we would want you to win, because if you don't win, we're a lot less likely to make money. So you get used to it, you block it out. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's some people couldn't be dealers.
No, some people would take stuff to heart.
Sure.
My father could never deal.
No.
Because if somebody says something to him like that, he just gets under his skin.
Sure, yeah.
You'd have to be a pretty thick-skinned person. Yeah. And also, I think I'd be one of those people that I would just smile and in my mind, I'd be thinking, just have a heart attack right now. Why don't you just have a heart attack right now and get it over with?
Well, sometimes I don't do this very often because I don't really like conflict, but sometimes I will jump to the defense of the dealers when I think that a player is treating them poorly for no good reason.
Right. And that does happen.
It does happen. Yeah.
And you got to be careful with that, though, because there are some people. There's a guy out at Harris Rincon. I'll say his name to you off air.
All right.
But he gives the dealers a hard time.
Yeah.
But they actually like him.
Yeah.
Because number one, and a dealer told me this, I said, how do you feel about him? And they said, well, number one, he tips an awful lot.
A lot, yes.
And number two, he kind of says it in a way like he's pissed, but he's not really pissed at you.
Yes.
He's just pissed that the game's going poorly.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's his intonation, I guess.
Yeah.
But, if you just walked up to that table, you'd think, what an a-hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. One final question from JF on Twitter.
So the question, if you're the only one that realizes you made a mistake and the action has moved on, do you stop and correct or no? This varies. It depends on the dealer. I've learned over the years that if the action has moved on, it is better for the dealer to pretend like they didn't see they made the mistake and just carry on with the game and not bring it back up, because that's usually you're getting yourself in trouble. That's when surveillance is called, and you're probably going to get a write-up for actually correcting your own mistake. So you just pretend like it doesn't happen. It's the best thing for the dealer.
I love this answer.
Yes, I do too. That's a perfect answer, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it might not be the kind of thing that a dealer would tell you if you asked them at the casino, because their boss is right behind them, right?
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
But it is the correct answer.
Yeah,
and I was thinking, I hope she says this truthfully.
Yeah.
And doesn't say, oh no, we always correct.
Right.
Because it's like any other job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. Sometimes if you mess up, you kind of just glance over it.
And here, we've talked about this before too. We've gotten the question, well, what do you do if a dealer makes a mistake in your favor?
Right.
Well, here's another reason not to call attention to that is because it might actually get the dealer in trouble.
Right.
Right. An honest mistake, right? Not a cheating situation, but, something where maybe they just mispaid you, right?
Yeah.
If you bring it to the attention of the dealer and or the pit boss, well, that might actually hurt the dealer's job. Yeah.
Right. And also, you know how paranoid casinos are. I mean, we've gone over in every episode crazy stuff the casinos do, right? How they act. So even if a dealer makes an honest mistake and you point it out, they could think the dealer was cheating, purposely trying to cheat for you or something, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you're probably just better to keep your mouth shut and let things flow.
Yep.
And if the pit notices it, then they notice it and they say something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for the questions, and looking forward to more. Have a good day.
All right. Well, thank you, Seven, for calling in with all those
wonderful answers. Actually, I really didn't know what to expect, but these answers were great.
Yeah, this is great. And so I have a feeling this is going to become a favorite segment for us. And certainly if anybody out there has some questions for dealers, please send them to us. You can email or tweet or on Facebook, however you want to do it, to ask. And then Seven was saying, too, she's talked to some other dealers that she knows, and hopefully they'll start responding, too. And maybe we'll get, some answers from
hopefully
from
we'll get
people.
honest answers she gave, because that is great.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to download our app for your mobile device. You'll get access to all our episodes, quick links to contact us via Twitter, Facebook, email, and our voicemail hotline. And you'll get bonus audio. On the bonus audio for this episode, we talk about a little trip we took up to Pechanga. It was Mike's first trip there. With our app, you'll also get TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. I update those listings every Wednesday using a program I wrote myself to search through all the raw American TV data. The bonus audio and the TV listings are only available on our app. To download it, go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and on the left-hand side of the page, click on the link that says how to download our app. We have a link for Android devices and another one for iPhones and iPads. We'd love to hear from you, and our dealers would love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We always tweet when we're in a casino or on our way to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Anything else, Dr. Mike?
Well, you know what I was thinking as you were finishing up there? One thing about gambling, we do it because we enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why we do this podcast, because we enjoy it. Yeah. But it's funny how it kind of drags in everyone around us and our family in a good way, right? It's like when my daughter, like I was saying, mentions, you couldn't roll the dice if you hurt your hand. Yeah. And we're watching Friends the other day, an old episode of Friends, and there was a sign on the wall that said, 5-card Charlie pays 5-1. And my wife just sees that. I didn't even see it. I didn't even notice it. Yeah. She's like, oh, look, 5-card Charlie pays 5-1.
It was just on the door, like it was on the door, a piece of art or something?
Yeah, it was Chandler and Joey's apartment.
But 5-1, that's a pretty good payoff for a 5-card Charlie.
That's what my wife said. Isn't that like a 5-card 21? That's really good. Must be their house rule. Yeah. But the thing about it, I was thinking, and your wife, we'll be out of the casino, and your wife will text you something like, what to do, like, you'll text her you're up, and she'll like get up 300 more and cash out or something, right? Whatever her advice is. Yeah. But it's become, I don't know, a good part of our lives, right?
Yes.
And even the people around us joke about it. We have fun.
Oh, yeah. It's been great. Well, the podcast has been great for us. I mean,
my advice to everybody, and this is what I was going for here at the end.
I was you were
rambling.
So yeah, go ahead.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Right? Treat people nicely.
That's a big one. Yep.
And, it all comes back to you in the end, and you'll be happy.
Yep.
So there you go. A little advice.
That's great advice. Now I really, really want to go to the casino.
Yeah, I hope Friday comes quick.
I hope so. All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.